this treasurer's report again before us in printed form. Moved by Mr. Ches, seconded by Mr. Ward to approve the treasurer's report before us in printed form. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next agenda item is bills payable, which this month total $4,802,102.79.
Make a motion to pay bills when funds become available.
Second. Moved by Mr. Ches, seconded by Mr. Blight to pay the bills as funds become available. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next agenda item is the police report. Captain Davis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the monthly report for August 2025. Middletown Police Department responded to approximately 1,185 calls for service during the period between July 15th and August 15th. In District 1, we had deaths from motor vehicles in Middletown Village. During the early morning hours of Wednesday, July 16th, 5 unsecured vehicles were entered unlawfully and miscellaneous items were stolen. Arrest warrants were obtained on July 24th for Samaj Lloyd, male 20, and the male juvenile. Both subjects are currently wanted for burglary, third, and theft and conspiracy. We also had a burglary at Star Vision Eye Care on Tuesday, July 22nd at approximately 10:25 p.m. Tyler DeVan, male 28, entered the business through an unsecured rear door. DeVan was taken into custody at his residence without incident. DeVan was charged with burglary, third, and attempted theft and committed in lieu of $5,000 secured bail. We also had a burglary, third, at the Jackson House on Monday, August 4th. Middletown PD responded to the reported burglary that occurred during the overnight hours. The investigation revealed that an unknown suspect had forcibly entered the business and removed an undetermined amount of money from the safe. The case is currently being investigated. In District 2, we had nothing to report. In District 3, we also had nothing to report. In District 4, we had a robbery at the Royal Farms. On Monday, July 28th at approximately 4:40 a.m., Richard Polk, male 31, went behind the sales counter and forcibly removed $76 from the register. Polk was taken into custody a short time later and charged with robbery second. Polk was committed in lieu of posting $12,000 secured bail. We also had some other deaths from motor vehicles on August 11th. Namir Williams, male 20, was arrested by Newcastle County PD and Middletown PD for multiple theft from motor vehicles and incidents that impacted Middletown and Newcastle County. The incidents in Middletown occurred in Middletown Village and in the reserve at Westtown. Williams was charged with multiple counts of receiving stolen property, criminal mischief, and theft by both agencies. Williams was given a $29,000 secured bail at his arraignment. Some of the other things that we had going on here in Middletown, we wrote 246 traffic summons, we had 4 DUIs, criminal arrests, we had 72, felony arrests, we had 12, misdemeanors, 23, civil penalties, 0, violations, 37, we had 120 warnings written, and we had 276 reports written, and 322 FSRs and CPCs. Some of the things that support services engaged in, they had some monthly meetings with SM4C, a meeting with Brian Johnson at Appoquinimink School District, and also did some things at the Freedom Center, the MOT Senior Center, conducted some business checks. They had coffee with a cop at Surf Bagel with Newcastle County PD. One of the operations that they were part of, we had a dirt bike operation at Preserve at Deep Creek because of several complaints with criminal investigations and traffic services. They also attended Camp Day. They ran 2 leadership academies, boys and girls. So these are some of the incidents in District 1, District 2. also in District 3 and District 4. These are some of the engagements that support services engaged in the Department with a Cop, and a presentation from the CADCA. The 2 youth academies that they ran, the boys and girls. These are some of the traffic assignments that we had. We conducted a traffic assignment on Gloucester Boulevard and Willow Grove Mill. The highest speed was 42, the average speed was 30. We conducted an attack for speed and stop signs on East Cochran Street, where 1 citation was written. The highest speed was 50 miles per hour, the average speed was 24. Some traffic violations at 299 Dove Run. 2 tickets and 2 warnings were written. Highest speed was 70. For the OHV over in Preserve Deep Creek, this led to an arrest and a search warrant. We had speed and red light enforcement at 299 in Cleveland Farm, where the high speed was 70, the average speed was 33. And we also did a attack at Levels Road, where the high speed was 58, and the average speed was 45. Also, we did a study on Cochran Street, where the high speed was 43. That's out of 20,069 cars that we ran the speed sign. That's all I have to report today.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept Captain Davis' police report.
Sure.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Thomas, seconded by Mr. Royston to accept Captain Davis' police report. Any questions on the motion? Some of the speeds that you said on, that were on Crawford and, aren't those the 25 mile an hour through there, right?
Yes.
Cochran Street, and then also on Bunker Hill? I mean, is it 35 on Bunker Hill or 25?
Should be.
Because I mean, when you had the average speed of 44 or 45, and then no tickets written, isn't that out of the ordinary? I mean,
Yes, that's the data that we collected.
that's the speed trailer that we're talking about,
Yes.
right? That just prints out?
Yes.
It's not actual cars doing it? Okay. Okay. Just seemed like Levels Road average speed 45. Okay. Any other questions for Captain Davis? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is Middletown Main Street update. Mrs. Rocox.
Good evening. Happy to report we have our Ladybug Music, Micro Music Festival coming up on September 20th. It's our 2nd annual. It's going to be happening right back here in the parking lot, and it's a very cool event. They've had it in Wilmington, they've had it in Milford. It features 5 female-led bands. It's free to the community. It's from 3 to 8 p.m. You bring your lawn chairs set up out there. There's going to be vendors and food and beer and wine and live music. And I think it's just a really fun event for all ages and families. So we hope everyone will come out to that on September 20th. We also have our October charcuterie fall crawl happening. So that will happen on October 9th. The last 3 that we've done have sold out. So tickets will go on sale next week for that. If you can follow us on Middletown Main Street on Facebook, you can keep up with our events. It's also a really cool event where you'll go into 5 or 6 different businesses in our historic district. There's charcuterie courses in each one, beer and wine tastings, and again, tickets will be available on our website, downtownmiddletownde.com.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the update for Main Street from Kate Rocox.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Royston, second by Mr. Sherman. Questions on the motion? Any questions of Kate? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Kate. And now for our part of the agenda we've all been looking forward to, Master Sergeant Scott Saunders is going to give us an update.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, residents. Thank you for entertaining us tonight. First, before we play the video, Chris, I want to introduce Ms. Natasha Warner, who's with the team that I'm working with to bring this initiative to Middletown. And Mr. Sam Postaway, that's with the school district, our chief partner in this. So, play the video. Okay.
Bear with us.
Hello, my name is retired Sergeant Kenny Ragland, and I serve as the PAL Board President for the National Police Athletic League. PAL has been operating for over 100 years. Currently, we have over 300 chapters in 700 cities. Some of our alumni are people like Muhammad Ali, Colin Powell, Billy Joel, Alicia Keys, and the names go on and on and on. I like to commend Apple Quinemic for exploring the possibility of starting a police athletic league. I think what you're about to embark upon will be transformational in your community as it relates to children. On a personal note, I grew up in Philadelphia as a PAL kid. If it was not for PAL and the opportunities it presented, I don't know where I would be today. So I want to commend your community, and I want to thank the board, and particularly I want to thank my friend and former colleague, Sergeant Scott Saunders. I know that he's passionate about initiating this program. Even though crime has been declining in our country, we have shown a spike in an increase in crime as it relates to violent crimes amongst youth. So initiating this program will go a long way in providing safe havens for young people in terms of developing positive relationships between police officers and youth, as well as through our educational programs, creating a foundation for young people to be successful in life. So we just want your community to know that National PAL is here, ready, willing, and able to support you. I shared with Scott and the board recently that personally I will be there for you. I'm currently living in Richmond, Virginia. I run a PAL program here, but I am more than amenable to driving up there and helping your jurisdiction get started to really transform their lives and create a safe haven for the young people in your community. So on behalf of National PAL, we wish you well. We wish you a lot of success. We're here for you, and just remember that every kid needs a PAL. Bye.
Thank you for that, Chris. That's why you get the big money. So, Natasha?
Good evening. So I'm Natasha Warner. I am, for one, I am a parent, so I have my two sons in the audience. But I'm also a founder of a nonprofit, Community Circle of Wellness, and it basically states just that. I do have 2 slides up here, but I'm not going to read from them, but I'm going to just speak to you about why we need a PAL in this area. So a couple of points that I want to go over is PAL, for one, it builds trust between youth and police and law enforcement. One story that I'll share briefly is that both my sons participated in the Middletown Police Department Youth Academy last year, and then this year they participated by way of the career fair. So I know that also another thing that I wanted to point out is both of my sons are Appoquinimink School District students. One is Cantwell's and the other is Middletown High. One thing that will say as a parent, they come home quite often and shared stories of, children and youth being bullies, or also just having some, being subjected to some conflicts in school. I believe a PAL would also further enhance resources for parents, but also for the Appoquinimink School District. It also supports youth development. PAL centers offer educational programs, character building. And the other thing that I do want to point out is I'm actually happy to see some of the village that have supported my sons, as well as me as a parent throughout the years. So I see we have my son's former principal in the audience, also Mr. Antonio, who has been an integral part of our children's development. And I also see my own doctor in the audience. So I just think that having a PAL in the area would help all of us to enhance the lives of our children and, of course, their families. It also boosts academic success. So even after school programming, so children can get support from the community leaders, but also help with homework. It strengthens community bonds. PAL brings together families, police, and school and local organizations to create a sense of unity. And then we can go to the next slide. I'm going to keep on just kind of speaking about that. It's not just about keeping kids busy. It's about giving them purpose, support, and a vision for the future. We would appreciate a letter of support for a PAL. And now I'll turn it over to my colleague here.
Good evening, everybody. Scott, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having us here. Just speaking on behalf of the Appoquinimink School District. I think everyone here knows Reading Middle School was just renovated and opened just this fall and welcomed students in. And throughout that project, one of the primary goals was to create a community center for our community and to bring people into our schools. So we are really excited from a district perspective about the opportunity to collaborate with our community through a PALS organization. And this is a great opportunity to get started and launch that opportunity within the infrastructure of Reading Middle School. There are some bullet points here. I think we all know the more engaged students are in their school and in their school community, the less likely they are to get in trouble. We know our middle school students are dismissed at 2:10 every day. Their parents are still at work. There's a lot of unsupervised time. That's the time the students get in trouble a lot in the community when their parents aren't home. So having an opportunity for students to engage after school during that critical window of time when they're not supervised is very, very helpful, and certainly reduce juvenile arrests. The other piece is academic performance and attendance. We know, again, when students are actively involved in their community, actively involved in their school community, and build connections with that school community, they're more likely to come to school. There's something to be there for that's not just my science class or my math class or my English class. It's about the relationships that students have with their teachers, but it's also about the relationships that they have with people after school hours. So we talk about positive behaviors. It teaches discipline. We're talking about relationships, and we're talking about connections, again, not only with our school community, but more importantly, our police department. So educational mentorship, support systems, prevents risky behaviors. You saw the list of opportunities that PALS offers and that they're looking to offer within our schools. There's financial support and learning classes. There's drug education and drug prevention, as well as just generally being a good person and treating people right and engaging in our community in a different way than they likely would have opportunities before. We know long-term relationships are important, particularly as it relates to our police department, but we also want students to come back to our community. And I think that this presents an opportunity for us from a community perspective for our students to build relationships with our emergency response people and our teachers, and potentially have those relationships lead to possible careers and returning to our community to work. So we're really excited about this opportunity, and just think it'll be good for our community. We know it will be good for our community. So on behalf of the Appoquinimink School District, I just want to thank Scott for having us, and we're really excited about the opportunity to collaborate with PALS.
Thank you, Sam. So with that being said, I'd just like to acknowledge those in the audience that are with supporting organizations. If you could please stand to be acknowledged. So this is gonna be a partnership, not just with the school district, but we have several organizations that are represented here and some that are not here that understand and believe in the importance of this. You can sit down now, I know you're tired. My window's closing. I've been in police work 3.5 decades. I've been blessed, and I thank the mayor and council for hiring me here. But my passion still burns for youth in the community. So hopefully, Mr. Mayor and council, this will be part of our legacy moving forward, that we brought this here. So the purpose of coming in before you today was to officially request a letter of support from the Chief of Police and Middletown Police Department, which is recommended from the national PAL that we have when we submit to become an official chapter. And with that, if anybody has questions, we'll take some questions if you want. Sorry.
Let me get a motion on the floor to go ahead and do the letter that you requested from the chief of police, the mayor and council, and everything endorsing. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to do the letter as requested by Scott and then open it up for questions.
Second.
Moved by Dave Thomas, seconded by Jim Royston. So questions on the motions? Any question of Scott or anything?
A couple questions. I mean, it's great program and stuff. One of the issues, you know better than we do. Right now, it's very difficult to hire police officers, and right now we are struggling to keep police officers, at a level where we want. What is the commitment needed from the Middletown Police to work with PAL?
Right now, there's no commitment because it's recommended by National PAL that really civilians run the PAL with the support of police. So that could be a retired officer, it could be anybody. But the way that we envision this working is that organizations will come in, like Omega Psi Phi, Delta Sigma Theta, SM4C, Lions Club, that can bring people that are dedicated to that into the program, And then when we have staffing, I know myself, I'll come over there on my own time as Sergeant Saunders, when I'm off. It doesn't matter to me. But I know that, like my friend Ken Ragland said, everybody sometimes needs a pal. So that's the way I see it working, if that answers your question, sir.
And with that also, is there any type of financial commitment from the town of Middletown?
Well, no. The chief partner in this is the Appoquinimink School District right now, dedicating the space. The space is the big ticket item. Once we get up and running, we can submit for grants, things of that nature, donations. I know through what I do for the police department, business community here has been very generous when they see something that's worthwhile for youth. And again, we just went through the 299 project where they had to do the railroad project and everything. That's all infrastructure. But to me, in my life, I've experienced the most important infrastructure is our children. So we got to invest in it. So that's where I'm at.
I really don't have a question. I think you mentioned this, that I'm going to thank you for commending the fact that we hired you.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And I want to just say thank you for the Youth Academy. When we bring them in and you sit down and talk with those youth and talk about your life experience, that's invaluable. And then we had Mr. Morris come out and Kristen this year to talk to youth about your journey. So those are things that I envision us doing every day.
I heard they weren't as good as I was.
They weren't. They weren't. You were the best. I gotta say that.
But let me get to my real point here. I think you said this in the beginning, 2 or 3 years down the road, whatever. But your commitment to PAL will extend, I know, because you and Captain Davis, when we had it before, at Reading were the primary ones that got that going, the basketball and everything there. So your commitment to PAL will be after your career is finished here, and you decide to retire, you'd still be a part of PAL.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. That adds a lot to what we want to do here going forward. So, any other questions from council? Questions from anyone? So, The motion on the floor is to give a letter of recommendation from mayor and council, police chief, going forward with recommending PAL. And we have the motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Godspeed, partner.
Thank you, sir.
Anything
Mayor,
else?
Council, thank you. They all Bears fans, so they leaving now. Watch game.
Not really, I hope, right? No, you can stay, go, whatever, we'll take a second or whatever, so. Okay. Okay, with that, next on the agenda is 1023 Bunker Hill Road. It's for record major subdivision plan for the Grove at Middletown Exchange. 432 townhouses, 33 single-family lots, tax parcel 23-024.00-287 and 23-024.00-172. Somebody here representing that to go forward? Which one of you guys want to come up? We got three of you there.
We all have just become so familiar with coming
Yeah,
up
there
here.
we go. Haven't we
Don't
all?
want anybody to feel left out.
Okay, just give us an update on what the plan is and what we're doing, and then we'll get to record subdivision plan approval.
Absolutely. So this is phases 2 and 3 of the Middletown Exchange, which I know you guys have seen quite a few presentations about previously. Phase 1 is the flex space, which is going through record plan approval and is in the final construction plan approval. So we've got here tonight, the first piece is the 33 single-family homes. That's about 30 acres total, I think, includes 9.4 acres that are going to be dedicated to the town, and that's comprised of an athletic area that the town's already using. We're just going to kind of formalize the transfer of that over to the town, and then a piece of property that'll be used for a pump station to serve this phase and the other 2 phases. So this is an R1A. This is an allowable use under that zone, and we've been working with the town engineer and everybody to make sure this meets all the town standards. And then the second piece, if you flip to the next slide, is the townhouses. So that's 432 townhouses on about 50 acres of property. This is directly adjacent to the flex space that you guys have already seen. This is R3 zoning, and that's all in compliance with those zoning requirements. And again, same thing, we're working with the town engineer and the town standards to make sure that this meets exactly what Middletown is looking for. With that, any questions, we're glad to answer.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the record major subdivision plan for the Grove at Middletown Exchange, 1023 Bunker Hill Road, that was just presented, and then we can open it up for questions. Moved by Mr. Moore, seconded by Mr. Bright. Questions from council? Just so everybody's aware, the flex space that we're talking about is where soccer is now. And that's a complex that'll be transferred. The front piece there will be transferred to the town of Middletown. And then we'll work with the soccer group and the league going out there. Unless we own the property, we can't commit to do improvements working with them. So that's what we've been trying to do for the last several years. So this works out perfect with us working with soccer. And then the other part is something that was added that was Lee Ramuno's property on the back of Middletown Village is the 33 single families that we added to that since this was first presented going forward. So this adds a little bit of flexibility to the parcel, and then we'll have the sports complex out there probably in December, we think, to be able to start working with soccer. So then we'll have youth football, soccer, and baseball complexes that the town of Middletown will own and work with them going forward. So, any questions on the motion, council?
Can you do the next slide, Chris? So the couple of open space parcels, has there been any thought about amenities for the town-owned section specifically?
Yes, we currently are showing a clubhouse area, and I believe that's the only amenity that we have.
We're still working with the builder to determine what they'll put into open space. There's the one big space up to the top right is a stormwater facility, and then the internal open space, we're still working with the builder to decide what to put there.
You have like 2.5 acres in that, one section, the lower left there. That, for that many homes, seems like there would be an opportunity to have playground or something sort of.
Yeah, we're working with them, and when we submit their construction plans, we'll have an idea of what's gonna be going there.
And typically, we work with the developer on that, turn it over to us, we take it over, and then work with that as part of our, complex that's going forward. Council, any questions? Anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Claude Newton from Spring Arbor. I live directly across from the property and we have a couple of questions. This new situation with adding single-family homes, sounds like you're adding to the sports complex. And is that where I understand is the back of the complex away from Bunker Hill Road over towards the apartments area?
So
I can't see this this diagram from back here, so I don't know what you're talking about.
when you refer to the sports complex, you're talking about the piece of property that's being used for soccer right now?
Yes.
So the piece of property being used for soccer is to the right on this diagram, and we're not really impinging on that at all. There was originally a piece of property that was created for the town to accept, but it was never actually transferred to the town by the previous owner. So we're taking that same piece of property essentially and transferring it over for the town's use.
Okay, so it's that area.
The one that's there now.
It's already there.
Yeah, it's already there, it's existing. Lee Ramuno would not transfer that to us until he got some resolution on the 33 single families. He always said he wanted to build them, all that, so we've been trying to do this for several years. So as a result of this partnership going forward, we'll be able to take over that property as a transfer to us and then work with the soccer group going forward. And then your other part, the 33 homes,
Yes.
which what I mentioned were part of his plan for the complex that he has there. And that was all part of when we put in 301. And he was going to try to work with DelDOT on that. That all fell through, as did building the single families there. So this works out very well. They'll be in the back corner of the property, all the way in the back behind where the townhouse is there towards Middletown Village, and back where the sports complex will be.
Okay, thank you, thank you. My second question, and this is not part of your presentation, thank you, but recently, within the past month, I've seen surveyors over on that property, and as a result of the surveyors, there have been flags placed on the Spring Arbor side of Bunker Hill Road. And alongside the flags are the stakes with flags on them, are now a little flag saying cable buried. And I'm wondering if that means where you're planning on putting landscaping. Previously, we had talked about landscaping and increasing the berm and adding trees to the Spring Arbor side of Bunker Hill Road. Recently, these flags have gone up on our side, and I'm just wondering what's happening with that.
So the plan is still to do that landscaping for you guys. The flags were put out there to identify where the edge of the right-of-way and the easements are, so that the developer would know where they could do this landscaping.
Okay.
So that's all that is. And then once we're done, we can actually take them down if that.
Well, no, it doesn't bother me. I'm just wondering if Spring Arbor can be involved with the landscaping project that we have discussed in the past.
I think there's an option if you guys have trees that you like, we can definitely hear all of those and take that into account.
Okay.
That's
That
what
was
we're
part,
thinking.
you remember, that was part of the plan going forward, when we extend the berm, working with them on plantings and everything.
Right.
On top of the berm, that was part of the commitment when we gave final plan approval and record plan.
Correct.
So that's all part of going forward.
That's what I'm just confirming.
Yeah, and that will not change.
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
You are good, thank you.
I wish.
Any other questions from anyone? Yes, ma'am.
Can our education infrastructure handle this many kids? Potential kids coming in?
Well, working with the school district, they had no issues with this at all. They view
That's a
this
problem
attack-
then.
I'm sorry?
I'd say that's a problem, but
Well, you need to talk to the school district, because they totally
I'll do
support
that
this in
tomorrow.
addition to the others. They view it as extra dollars, increasing the tax base.
mm,
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
For the townhome section, is there extra parking anywhere? Cause 32-inch wide, or 32 feet wide streets are not very wide, and the alleys are also not very wide. Is there gonna be, it looks so dense, I'm a little bit worried about it.
Well, there'll be garage parking and driveway parking for each one of them, for each one of the
But no street
townhouses.
parking?
There'll be street parking, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It's standard by code. I mean, it's just
Okay.
for the townhouses, yeah. That'll
Okay.
be, yep. Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Good luck. Let's get it going. Next on the agenda is 410 Diamond State Boulevard, Suite E. It's a conditional use permit request for an e-commerce warehousing, import-export operations and freight forwarding business to be located in an MI zone area. Conditional use 11-25.
Oh, good evening. So, the last time when we came, they said that they rescheduled a different day, and they asked about the IATA certificate. They said that how the e-commerce will be held. Like they had a question about how the goods like will be shipped to the JFK. So we sent an email by explaining the procedure, and also we have provided the letter from the freight forward agent, who is an authorized IATA agent that does all this process. And they often come to the office and teach the employees to make sure that the dangerous goods are not accepted. And when they ask about hazardous materials, like we try to mention that, like, let's say the customer is ordering any laptop, and laptop has a like lithium ion battery. So usually like those type of the, like, let's say they never like order in bulk. Let's say the customer order from Amazon or from Apple the laptop or something, and whatever the box that contains this type of laptop, they have a specific like label that show clearly that this box contains the like lithium battery contained laptop, but it's not like in a huge large volume. And also the last time they asked another question, how the like large or like quantity, large volume cargo will be handled. Will it be taken through the like Middletown up to New York? No, large like cargo shipment, usually the customer, they send all the like information they require to the freight forward agent, IATA agent, and they work with them directly regarding all the procedures. So any like stuff that will be taken there, it will be checked by freight forward agent. The name is Delix, and the company sent in a letter from this freight forward agent.
Is it satisfied?
Still got questions?
Okay, let's entertain a motion to give approval for the conditional use permit request for 410 Diamond State Boulevard, and then get a motion on the floor, and then we can open it up for questions. So I entertain a motion to approve the conditional use permit request.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Thomas, seconded by Mr. Light. Questions?
First, thanks for sending the information from Delex. I appreciate that. They're domiciled out of Jamaica, right? They're up in
Jamaica, New York, yes.
I guess my first question, will they be on site down here?
No.
At your facility?
Just to clarify some point, freight forward agent Delix, they send their truck to take those stuff, to take the like goods and take it to their facility.
That's my second question. So Delex is sending their vehicle down
Yes,
to
yes.
take your
Yes,
product up?
yes.
Okay. And you mentioned the like limited quantity that you're gonna be getting. You're not gonna be There's a US CFR 49, which is the DOT hazardous materials regulation transportation, requires 2,200 pound, or 1,000 kg, so 2,200 pounds.
We do not receive like those stuff.
You just said that, and that was my concern initially, that if you're consolidating all this, you need to make sure that you're placarding that vehicle properly. But obviously with the limited quantities you're getting, you're not gonna reach that amount, that quantity. So I'm fine with that, Ken.
You're good?
Yep.
Okay, any other questions from council? Any questions from anyone? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks for coming and clarifying all this. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your attention and have a great night.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is 128 Patriot Drive, Unit 2. It's a conditional use permit request for training and fitness facility engineered for Success Training Center in an MI zone. This is conditional use CU-12-25. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
We don't have a microphone.
I'm used to it. So just
Are
looking
you
for.
one of the trainers?
Yes, I am.
Good God, yeah.
I would be the
Had
head.
it enough as grant approval, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, just looking for conditional use for the facility that I'm looking to get off the ground. I've been scouting it for months, was just here weeks ago, for the zoning and planning committee. And background is very vast in sports and fitness and training, and just looking to expand the options for the people in the Middletown community. Have spent 6 years working personally in Middletown at Orange Theory Fitness prior to me, branching off and doing my own thing, and across the state. So just looking to diversify the options for people's health and wellness in the area.
Cool. So you're Dwight Burke?
Yes.
Oh, wow, good, okay.
Yeah.
This is great. I'll certainly entertain a motion to grant the conditional use request for 128 Patriot Drive, Unit 2, conditional use CU-12-25. Moved by Mr. Chaz, second by Mr. Blight. Questions on the motion? Anyone? Any questions? This is great. Good for you, man. I'm glad to see you doing this. And anything you need from us, we'll take care of this. So, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Godspeed, man.
Thank you.
Let
Have
us
a
know
good
if you need anything. Thank you. Next on the agenda is motion to ratify a contract for the 2025 stormwater management pond rehab project. Mr. Deputy.
So as part of this year's budget, we had some rehabilitation to a couple ponds. Dove Run on Old Court, and a couple ponds out by Middletown Mall. Bids went out, we received 6 bids, and the recommendation is to award bid to Technivate for $249,669.44, which was within the engineer's estimate.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the town manager to award the contract for stormwater management rehab to Technivate for $249,669.44. Moved by Mr. Moore, seconded by Mr. Chaz, to award the contract to Technivate as read. Any questions on the motion?
Or could they give a time frame for start to finish? Yeah. Not finished, I mean, they'll start right away.
Any other questions, council? Questions from anyone? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to ratify a contract with KCI Technologies for professional services related to the town of Middletown MS4 permit. Mr. Deputy.
So the proposal is to turn over all of our MS4 permitting, which is an EPA requirement to allow us to discharge stormwater. The request is to give that to KCI Technologies. They currently do it for several municipalities, the University of Delaware and Delhi currently, so they're well familiar with it. The recommendation is for $53,097.50. They do all the recording, all the testing, and to manage our permit.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the town manager to enter into a contract with KCI Technologies regarding our MS4 permit for the total amount of $53,097.50. Second by Mr. Chaz, seconded by Mr. Thomas. Questions on the motion?
It notes in here that it's on an as-needed basis versus they're handling everything, so is anybody in town still doing their network? Or is it all going to KCI?
So some of it, we have always traditionally done, like all inspections as delegated agencies, so we'll continue doing all that.
Okay.
They'll handle the work that, was formerly done by other employees that are no longer here. So it was easier to transfer to them their expertise rather than retrain and try to hire somebody. We couldn't do it for that much.
On the permitting side?
Yes.
Right.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions? Questions from anybody? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to ratify Resolution 250901 to amend Section 1 and Section 6 of the Town of Middletown Personnel Policy. Mr. Deputy.
So the resolution to amend the personnel policy is to make changes that will make all female employees at-will employees and coordination with Delaware law.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the town manager for Resolution 250901, Section 1 and Section 6 of the Town Personnel Policy.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Royston, seconded by Mr. Moore. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to ratify Resolution 250902 to adopt an amendment to the fiscal year 26 utility rates. So just give a little bit of background on how we arrived at where we are to make this adjustment. When we did our budget in May, we did not realize that Newcastle County's reassessment project would increase assessment of properties at least 400% and higher. We also did not realize that the Appomattox School District would not do what they said they would do if we passed a referendum, and they're passing on 10% tax increase that they committed not to do originally. So that brought us to where we are now. Newcastle County's reassessment has created a lot of issues within the town of Middletown. And also with school taxes going up 10%, it has a direct bearing on us and what we're doing going forward. So what the mayor and council did is, you know, in our budget approval, we did lower the electric rates. We also lowered our taxes, and I don't know if anybody realized that, but our taxes were 30 cents per hundred, which was the lowest in the state of Delaware. But we lowered that to 0.564 cents because we realized that the assessment would have a tremendous impact, and that would make us level with what the assessments would be by lowering our tax rates, so it should be about even. Of course, some people, you know, the assessments were a little bit different and created different problems. So that was part of, so our tax rate now is 5.64 cents per hundred compared to 30 cents per hundred before. So what we would like to do is, what Mayor and Council is going to do as a result of this motion that I'll ask for and amended, is we're going to cut the customer charge that's been approved in our budget by 50% going forward for the rest of this budget year. We're going to also extend the time to pay taxes without penalty, which was originally September 30th, and we're going to extend that to October 31st to give a little bit of flexibility for going forward. This was a 3-year plan that we did when we did a study, and that's where we came up with the to become whole, tax rates, lower it, but we just feel that we need to make further adjustments by lowering our customer charge and extending the time and pay. So that's part of what Mr. Deputy is going to recommend to us going forward, and then we'll open it up to any questions or comments. So, Mr. Deputy.
So the recommendations for a residential customer charge in electric to be $10.60. Residential customer charge in water to be $9.15, and the residential customer charge in wastewater to be $14.50.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of town manager.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Sherman, seconded by Mr. Blaine. Questions on the motion? Yes.
Are the bills, will we get new bills to pay?
The bill that we got, that you're getting, the tax bill from us is based on the 5.64 cents per hundred. That to be paid extended to October 31st. So it's not the 30 cents per hundred, right, Katie? Yeah. So we already had the 5.64 cents. We had already reduced taxes when we approved the budget. But the other stuff that the school district did and reducing the rates and the 50% reduction in customer charges will be effective now going out in the next bill. Yes, sir.
With things with like appeals, and we, when
Well,
they.
we don't have, that's all Newcastle County.
No, yes, but the number would change how you would tax me. So if I go from $1 million to 500,000, do you understand what I'm
If you win
saying?
the appeal, then that'll be adjusted on us on our end.
And
yes.
you'll take care of that.
Oh,
and then-
absolutely. If you win the appeal, that goes before Newcastle County, yes.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you,
that'll come forward on our end.
thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And like I mentioned, this is a 3-year plan going forward. So at the end of this year, budget year in June of next year, we'll come back and talk about how the first year made out and go on with our second-year plan going forward on the 3-year plan on the study we did. The next item agenda is removed. Item I has been